Hey-o, I went live. I forgot to hit the button. Tactical Muffin Top. You just going to lurk in the background?
Lurking away. What up?
Hello, Crash and Kev. Grit and Grace showing up. Awesome. People are starting to come in. I don't know why I agreed to do this. I don't have any topics or anything like that to go over.
Sunday Gun Day, bro.
I'll just scroll here until something catches my eye. This is fun. Anybody follow Jimmy Corsetti? He's got a bunch of theories about alternate history and stuff. He actually got to go to Göbekli Tepe. I would say that's one of my bucket list destinations. I want to see the place that proved everyone wrong about how far back history went.
I don't want to go anywhere, Pat. I'm just going to stay at home and sleep.
That's pretty much what I've done this weekend so far. I had plans, but it got all rainy and cold.
Yeah. It was cold yesterday. It kind of messed with my plans. I don't know. I've been going to bed at like 2 o'clock in the morning for like the last 2 weeks, man. I can't sleep for shit. Probably dying. Who knows?
That noise is hard to sit beside.
It's all R's fault for being all hard-bodied and sexy. Say hi, R. I'm on chat. Hey.
Hello, R. So you guys, you got your shed that you're going to use as a chicken coop?
Yeah, we went and got some pavers and some sand. I got like part of a pad that a dog kennel was on. We just ripped off. Gonna finish this out so that way underneath the shed's all cemented in or whatever level.
Well, do you have any idea what you're going to use for nesting boxes?
I just got some 5-gallon buckets that I tried to grow potatoes in that failed. I'll probably just cut those in half.
like screw them to a frame or something on the wall.
Yeah, I was just gonna build like a little square grid, but then I was like, maybe I'll put these 5-gallon buckets in so I can just pull those out and wash them off, so that way it's easier to clean them. Just put hay on top of them and call it good. Who knows? Hadn't got that far yet. Gotta get the building up first. See what kind of room I'm working with.
I like these grips here. They call them the Kung Fu grip.
Oh yeah.
I bought 2 of them, and they work pretty good for your shorty boys. So your wrist isn't on such a weird angle. If the like your pistol, the brace isn't too close.
Yeah, it's probably right. Is it plastic or is it rubberized?
It's all plastic.
Yeah.
It's got an interesting grip pattern on the side.
Yeah, that little vert grip nub.
I didn't get that. All I got was the grip.
Oh yeah. They're pretty rad. You get a shoe with them yet?
Yeah, I like it. It doesn't, like I said, on the shorty boys, it doesn't hurt your wrist. And if you're using it on a longer range rifle, you want your grip to be more vertical for long range stuff too.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy with it. There was only one there when I bought it, and they were on clearance. I wish there were more. I would have bought them all.
Yeah. Pat's over here loaded, going to gun shops and stuff. That's all good. I'm pretty excited. I got my shed, a 6x, what is it? 6x4 metal shed. They lied. It's a 5.8 instead of 6.
Well, I don't think, like in the extreme temperatures that you get, I think the smaller the better, because
Yeah.
you're trying to keep that warm enough in there to keep them from freezing to death.
Yeah, I think it's that cold. I was bringing them in the garage. Run a heater on them. Yeah, it's got a door on it, so well, muffin top can come in on the side. I tell you what, man, I don't know what's going on. My knees, my hip are fucking killing me really bad this week. I haven't even worked out. I've just been working on everybody's shit, which part of that's because I was down in a crawl space for like 7 hours, which sucked, but it's just part of it. After work, and I got to bed late. Smoking all the freaking bottles of Tylenol and ibuprofen right now. But I don't
have you tried the dual action stuff? It's aspirin and Tylenol together. I'll tell you what.
You can only have so much, so I just do 1,000 of both and then call it a day.
Yeah, I guess. So when I wrecked my side-by-side, I busted, like, my wisdom tooth should have come out a long time ago. It was starting to get a cavity in it. And when I wrecked my side-by-side and the roll bar almost popped my head like a pimple, it knocked that tooth, the middle of that tooth out. And I've just been ignoring it for the longest time. Well, it was hurting me pretty bad for like 3 weeks in a row. I finally decided to go to the dentist. And they can't see me until April, sometime in the beginning of April, and I've been eating that dual action pain meds like it's candy.
Yeah, well,
I can't function without it.
It's crazy how far dentists are backed up. I had a wisdom tooth, and that happened to it too. It had a cavity in between the tooth I didn't even know about. They x-rayed it, and it was like all the way down until the root. Like the cavity just went, and I didn't even know about it. And then as soon as it hit the root and got a little bit of air back there, or like I drank something, oh my god!
I think I removed lawfully by accident. I just brought him back.
Hello, that guy. He's crazy.
I was glancing at the comments, and I'm like, why is he saying that?
You don't love me no more?
You've been here for an hour. You buy now.
Those Kung Fu grips are pretty cool, and they're not terribly expensive. They're trying to buy some market share coming in at a low price. Like they're under $20.
I like $20. Yeah, we just got. Or found this deal a day when you find this a couple days ago. These pavers.
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. 50 cents a paver. Pretty cheap. I like cheap. You guys know, kind of a cheap bastard.
Yeah, I can't stand like the stock A2 grips that pretty much everything comes with.
I really don't mind them. I mean, I guess I haven't changed it out to have anything crazy cool like a BCM or anything, and I'm not. I guess I'm not gun rich enough to have. Of course, well, that one that came on my Saber is a little bit different. It's a BCM grip, I think, or it's like whatever their copy of it or something. It's pretty cheap, I guess. But I don't know.
They were doing something back in the gun industry a while back, but I really wasn't buying ARs at that time. They were selling ARs without all this furniture, like all the shit that you were going to replace anyway. They just didn't include it.
I'd be okay with that.
I don't really see anybody doing that anymore.
Probably should. It'd probably save them some upfront costs, and they'd probably get a few more sales out of selling a slightly cheaper gun. Especially well, from what I understand, the market, especially ARs wise, is kind of stagnant right now. You might get that one guy who wants to squeak a one extra in his collection or something, or the guy that just couldn't buy something, like a PSA with no furniture, like couldn't afford the extra 50 bones or something on it.
Awfully, that's racist. Hello.
Colt was doing that for a period of time. I think it was less about saving you money, more about saving them money and time. Because that way they didn't have to wait for a Magpul or whoever to come in the furniture.
Yeah. About the nicest thing on anything's Bravo or GM.
And that kind of thing is only relevant if you're buying mil-spec carbines with drop-in furniture. By the time you're buying something that's free float that needs, a particular handguard or whatever, like you're not saving anybody any money. And much time. Because the kind of guy that's going to buy one with a free float barrel and then have to slip a compatible handguard on there at that point, he's going to buy what upper and what barrel and handguard he wants. You're not saving him any money. So there would be no price incentive to buy that way. PSA, which you can't say anymore because now that means Palmetto State Armory. Public service announcement, Delton's going out of business, so they've got like a fire sale going on. Everything they got left that's not bolted down.
I've never even heard of Delton.
They've been around a long time. They're that lower tier store brand. They just couldn't make it. They're neither fish nor fowl. So
I feel like you're going to see a lot more of that. With the Trump slump and the way the economy is already, I think a lot of AR companies are going to go out of business.
You either innovate or you get right on your prices. There's not much in between.
We just seen some chick that I could have fit two of my entire body in each one of her pant legs. It was gross, to say the least. But R is rock hard. He got out to get her number.
Who? I looked away from the screen.
R's with me.
Yeah, but who you talking about?
It's
who
some
got him in
person
that condition.
It's some person out in the wild that you guys can't see because I have my camera on.
Oh.
It's pretty gross. We do sell cows here, but that's where buttermilk comes from. So
Yuck.
Yeah. When Muffin Top's looking, I'm looking like freaking Beachbody over here compared to that. So, which by the way, Muffin Top hit 284 this week, and I didn't even work out. I've just been doing so much side work that now my
Man,
body.
That's good.
you're
Like a
getting
bit.
under what I weigh now. Now I feel real bad.
What? Nuh-uh.
I might
Are you
have
really?
to actually. I might have to actually start working out.
Come on, Pat. I cut almost 120 pounds. Do it with me, buddy. I'm the fattest ass on the internet telling everybody to get fit.
I mean, I eat normally. I don't eat a bunch of junk food and sugary stuff. I guess I have to eat less of it.
Yeah. I pretty much just eat protein and veg. Mostly just protein. Like if I get snackish at night, I'll eat like a cheese stick or like a couple pieces of like high end like the nicer cut of like turkey or something. Like lunch meat.
Don't lie. I heard you.
Calories
Heard
or
you.
pickles.
$60 is not a good price for the grip in a little nubby hand stop.
Yeah, I don't want that little nubby. I just like the little big skin with the slight angle on it.
There's an upcharge because of it being the camo, but no, they shouldn't be that much because I think dealer price on those Kung Fu grips in the solid colors is like 17 muffins,
Oh shit.
and they retail for like 20, 21. Like they're affordable pistol grips.
Hey, your little banner says sub to buy friends. You mean my with an M? And I'm not one for spelling, but when I can catch it, it's retard level.
You catch it when it swings to you.
Yeah. I'll hit that one out the park. But I
You've
still
been
love
one
you.
to pass.
I wish, man. I'm about to get my fucking card. My back is fucking killing me. My back, well, dude, what's killing me worse is this hip. And it's probably because that nerve's getting crushed by my next set of discs and shit up above it, and they can't do anything about it. But goddamn, man, it's putting me down.
Well, I don't know about your card. I meant something else.
There, I fixed it. Is that better?
You did it. Ah, there you go. Yep. He's the one anyway. Fuck Muffin Top. He's retarded. All that guy does is bitch anyhow. Man,
Go down one comment, Pat.
I love jerky, grit, and grist. The problem is when I start eating jerky, whatever container it's in will be finished when I'm done eating the jerky.
I can't eat
So you
jerky
need portion
right now
control.
because of my tooth. It goes straight back and gets all jammed down in that broken tooth.
Oh yeah, don't be doing that. No, there is no portion control when it comes to jerky. That shit is delicioso.
Pass.
Here, R's about to hop in. He had to get a drink. He's about to pass out. Wore him out today. Hey, I told him that gal you got out to get her number, and that's the cow that buttermilk comes from.
Oh, nice.
Dude, look at how bad. All right, she hopped into a Silverado with like a 4-inch lift, which I don't know how she got in there. But she's in this truck. Look, it's leaning like 2 inches to the look. It's leaning bad, man. That bitch is big.
Either paint us a picture or show us.
I can't show you. It's got her license plate right there.
Hold your thumb up.
Yeah, it's leaning. It's like an 08 body style, Texas edition. So it has like better suspension package and shit.
You kind of like the person version of Jabba the Hutt, just like
with legs.
no neck, just like a weird like dome of a head and just a weird look, wide lips.
Yeah.
Kinda look-
Mexi edition.
Kind of look like a bullfrog.
Yeah. It was gross, is what we're saying.
Hmm.
Yeah. But I told him you got out to get her number because you were rock hard. You're welcome.
That reminds me of the bumper sticker from back from when I was a kid. It said, "Lift your truck because fat chicks can't climb."
Yeah, there's a bunch of them fat chicks can't jump. That's why we take the Nerf bars off.
That must be the not the case anymore.
No, the Nerf bars are getting lower. Yeah, I knew somebody who had a piece of shit truck and he used like 2x4s to lift it up with like sheet metal wrapped around it in college. And he took his homemade welded Nerf bar off, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And he had one hand. His name was Nubs. He's a welder. He's really good at it too, which is shocking for having one hand. But he's a cool dude. And yeah, he's like, "Well, fat chicks can't jump," and this dude's like a string bean. I'm like, "Man, I think you just take anything, and then if they're too big, you just shove that nub up in there, and you're good to go, man." They think you're the king of the mountain, man. Anyway, that was gross. Sorry, I got your channel nuked for sexual activity.
That's all right. I think
Yep.
every time I scroll past the Mr. Guns and Gear, I'm in trouble or getting my live stream yanked.
Yeah. All right.
He's
Well,
always
we're
selling
here. I
something.
gotta get this shit unloaded and get this thing leveled out. So I'll let you guys go later.
We're queer. Get used to it.
What R said. R loves men.
Oh, that
Not
one.
the muffin.
Don't touch me. I'm married. Don't touch me there. It's my no square.
Y'all all right?
You give him a kickstart, and this is what happens. Should have moved that fucking doghouse out of the way. All right, see you
Just
guys.
to be said, hey-o.
Hey-o! Make sure you like, share, sub to Pat-Riot and Lawfully Armed. And me. Bye.
Yeah.
That is a great idea, using a drone to go check things out. And 30 mile an hour winds. Like, oh geez, what the hell are people burning stuff? Fuck retards. Oh my god, I don't burn. I don't burn any of my stuff unless it's like dead calm.
Yeah. They had like there was a whole town in Oklahoma that had fires all over. Not yesterday, but I guess Friday. Like Thursday night into Friday morning.
These astronauts are finally coming home. Have you ever? When's the last time you spent like all day in the swimming pool, or just like an hour in the swimming pool, and you go to like step out? Maybe it's just because I'm fat, but I feel like I weigh like 800 pounds when I come out of a swimming pool. Can you imagine what it's going to be like stepping out onto Earth after 8 months in the space station?
They probably are ready to kiss the ground that they'll be stuck to. I would be ready to kiss the ground. Have you checked out DJ the Metalhead Mercenaries Frat T camo?
I haven't seen it. I heard him talking about it, but I've never actually seen it.
I don't know if he's got anything on X or not, but you might search Frat T camo, all one word, and see if he's got a page there. I know he's got a social media presence on Instagram.
Let me just stop that for a second.
Actually, I guess it's Frac Camo, all one word for its Instagram, but it's actually Frac-T Camo for the like the trademark or whatever. He finally got some test swatches made, sent them to a dude. Dude made like a TQ holder out of a couple of the swatches, and then he's got like digital renderings of examples of the different color palettes on like ponchos and some different stuff. He was asking people to tag their favorite gear manufacturers.
What is it again? I'll just Google it instead of trying to sign into Instagram.
It's in the comments. Frac Camo, all one word on Instagram. FRACT-CAMO, all one word. Frac, like fracture, like you're fracking for oil or natural gas. Tango, and then camo.
Does this look right? No, this is fractal camo. I don't think this is right.
No, that's not right. His website is literally frac, FRAC-T-CAMO.com. Hang on, I'll share it to you in the back chat. Ciao. It's in the back chat.
FRACT camo.net.
I just sent it to you in the back chat on StreamYard. Yeah.
It looks like
Multicam and ACU had a baby.
yeah, something like that. And then you stuck it in the like paint thinner and muddled it.
Mm-hmm. And it's supposed to be not a terribly repeating pattern, like it's 9 yards of non-repeating pattern. So I think even if you invented like a computer program that can pick out like a shape, like the new Scorpion camo, the knockoff multicam that the Army and Air Force is standardized on, there's like certain brown and cream shades that you can pick up that image. You could write a computer algorithm that would pick those out. Like there's one that looks like a turd, like it looks like old Mr. Hanky Dookie. And then there's like a one of the cream splotches looks like a jizz whale, and it's a repeating pattern, so you can pick it out. Like every uniform will have that little like Mr. Hanky Dookie looking splotch.
Yeah.
Whereas this stuff is supposed to be non-repeating. So I think it might even be like AI proof for the next few years. But also with it not having a repeating pattern, I bet it's harder to like copyright or trademark maybe. Yeah, trademark. So I don't know. I think that may be the reason for some of these commercial patterns for having some repeat. Is you can go back and be like, Judge, this is definitively our little dookie squiggle, you know. But I think it's ballsy of him to like make his own camo pattern. I hope he's not like bit off more than he can chew, trying to launch too many color palettes at one time. That frac TW, I'm like, he dropped that dot like almost on top of me. That longest ray, like I'm in the path of that ray.
Yeah, that's pretty much my area too. This is a great idea. This map telling you what the camo is like more designed for your area.
Justin B said take his comment off screen so you can see the patterns. There you go. He needs to know because he's got that Florida man. He needs that frac T full or Florida pattern. I could get away with that Southwest too.
I mean, the answer is always no until you ask. You know what the difference between the winners and the losers are? The winners never quit because you haven't lost until you quit. I mean, it could take 20 years to get this off the ground, and then at the end of that 20 years, maybe he picks up a military contract and he's a freaking millionaire overnight. You know what I mean? Just keep
in
plugging
20
away
years,
at
his copyright will be up and everybody will have cloned it.
Yeah, I guess. Then you just change it very slightly and then do a new copyright. That's something that just happened over a 3D printing technology. It's the dumbest thing in the world. Like somebody got a patent on this, but most 3D printing the layers are like this. Like if the wall is thicker than one layer, the two layers, they just line each other up by the side. Well, a long time ago, somebody figured out if you just do your first layer like really thin, and then you stack the layers like this over top of each other, then you get like almost, what do they call it? Regular plastic, where they form it.
Injection mold.
Yeah, injection mold. Once you stack them like this and you get that, like, you know, the rounded part between my two fingers, you're going to have a gap there every layer.
Right.
Or when you stack them like that, that gap becomes so small, it's insignificant. And they get almost injection molded strength out of a 3D printed part by doing it that way. Well,
By staggering it.
Yeah, by staggering it, which is like just like duh.
It's like Lincoln Logs, you get that 1/3 overlap.
The trick of it is the people that patented that, the patent expired like last year. So what did they do? They just submitted it again. Like they changed some of the wording and that's it. And then put in for a patent on it again. And nobody cares because it's, you know, it's such a small thing. But for people that, you know it's out there and do care, it's a big thing. And it has broader implications. Like in other industries. If you can just change 3 words in your patent wording or something like that and get a new patent, then what's the point of it ever expiring?
I think a lot of times you can appeal and get an extension on your patent or like on copyrights and stuff. Like Disney has been doing that for forever. Like they keep every so often they file for a patent extension or copyright extension on. I know the two work a little different to one another, patent and copyright. But like everybody made the big deal this time a year ago because Mickey expired. And the argument was that that was only on the earliest version of Mickey, you know, the Steamboat Willie black and white, real plain, naked mouse. It's kind of like that. I think you can get extensions if you can quantify.
Well, Disney's been getting special carve-outs for everything for a really long time. They basically were their own country or their own state down in Florida. They supposedly had their own police force and everything down there.
Yeah.
This one thing I'm lacking that I'd like to get a hold of. Some what do they call it? Overwhites for wintertime.
Yeah. You need those reversibles. I don't want
like a uniform. I want just something that covers my existing uniform.
Like a schmuck?
Yeah, something like that. Like it's just a pair of big old puffy parachute pants and something to cover my torso.
All right, so here's what you do. Open you up another tab and pull up Helican Tex USA and look at their Swagman roll. I think they've got it in a white camo. And even if it lists prices, there's nothing firearm related on there. I don't think they even demo photos with firearms. Sometimes there's a magazine stuck in a pouch, but like they don't show guns. There's no insinuation of selling guns. But they do their Swagman roll in different camo patterns. It's just like a winter, like in between a poncho and an anorak. That'd be what you need because you can throw that over like a smock. They sell some of them under their bushcraft line and some of them under their patrol line, depending on the material and color and stuff. They've got like a woodsman. They've got more of like a fur trapper looking one if you get it under the bushcraft line, and then under the tactical line they've got the there we go, Swagman roll poncho. So they do the poncho that's like moisture wicking, and then they do the regular like Swagman roll. It's like an insulating layer, like a same thing, but they're a Polish company, and then most of their stuff is actually manufactured for them by a textile company in Vietnam. But that's the chest rig I'm rocking right now is one of theirs. I want the bigger one. They've got the
their stuff isn't bad. That backpack, $124.
Yeah, I mean their stuff's pretty reasonable, and there's a lot of it on Amazon. Sometimes you pay a premium, like you pay $4 or whatever on Amazon. But you know, with Prime you get free shipping, so it kind of offsets it because there's not all the stuff that the U.S. branch carries is what they make. Like they've got European specific stuff, and I guess that's why you have to wait for them to get it stateside or whatever. Like these are guys in that like surplus game importing new stuff from Poland that would be their European products. Let me check Amazon real quick and see what those Swagman rolls are going for. The price just varies depending on the listing. Sometimes you'll find somebody that's got all the colors listed, and sometimes they'll be yeah, on Amazon right now they're all like 154, 169. You get just the basic one, the Bushcraft line swagman roll. That's just like the Whoopee material. They're 87. But they do some that are reversible, be like a desert night camo and then like the 3-color desert, and they're 150. And I swear they do one that's a whiteout like you're talking about that's reversible. I swear they have one that's like the whiteout camo, like the white with the gray and black dots and stuff, kind of break you up, and then like some sort of camo on the other. But I would consider them brand as a whole a cut above uh, Condor and stuff, but not Arcteryx and brand names are failing me.
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
want to say
looking
it.
for right
They're
there,
not.
something in the 20-liter range.
Yeah, there we go. Reversible. I just had to search reversible. Swagman reversible. So they do a desert and a woodland reversible if you like the leaf camo. And then yeah, they got a bunch of awesome stuff. Come back over to StreamYard. Hang on, I'll get my chest rig and show you. The one that I hadn't been wearing around because it's not been cold enough to wear a heavy jacket over it. It's not, it doesn't hold enough mags to be prepper cool guy. It's like the minimal loadout. I took all my mags out of it so that I wouldn't wear out the elastic top. I had everything pulled out of it to put in that what's the one that everybody was getting that Red On and Wiretite and everybody just touting. You know, I both bought one. I was unimpressed and I gave it away. But yeah. Yeah. Throw you some more mags in there. Good ruck.
Yeah, I think I want to grab some sort of micro rig, one of those that it has the pouch for magazines in the back, but then it's Velcro on the front. You can put a placard on there if you wanted to plus up your mags.
Yeah.
Get something that's not huge for like in Minecraft when I drive my truck across the country and I want to bring some stuff.
This one holds 4, and then there's a subreddit post or whatever that shows. I'll show you here in a second what I'm talking about.
Ah, ceiling fan video.
I want to talk to you. All right, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4 rifle mag pouches, 2 pistol mag pouches, some in GP pouch, and 2 more pistol mag pouches, which you can run like multi-tools or whatever in these. And then you can, there's a video where a guy shows how to take, these flaps are removable. So you take these flaps off, and you cut a stitch out, and you can fit another rifle mag in here. Or you can molly it. There's just enough spot where you just bar tack a couple spots, and you can add a molly surface to put like another mag pouch or GP pouch or whatever on there. But it's a pretty good sized GP pouch. And then it comes with the dangler, but I took the dangler off. But the dangler's, oh, well, I have it here somewhere. Where did the dangler go? More through the dangler pouch. I was waiting for some warmer weather. There we go. There's the dangler pouch. And it just mollies on to these little loopy loops, 550 that are stitched in. I didn't that yet. Little loops of 550 underneath, but it's a good size. Like it'll fit 2 more 30 rounders, which so will this GP that's built into it. It's big enough to stick 2 30-round PMags in it and zip it up. Running side by side, facing the same way. Maybe not with a roll of tape down in the bottom, but it'll zip up with 2 regular 30 rounders in there. So
I think when you get to that point, you're kind of missing the point of a small rig like that.
Yeah, and that was my idea. Was like, realistically, I'm not ever going to get into a protracted gunfight on purpose. And so, if I needed more mags than what this would hold, the idea is that I would have a backpack to plus up off of. But
I saw somebody selling the Vertex fanny pack in my area. It was just a little too far away, or I probably would have went and got it from them.
I like this one, but I don't know. I wish it was just a skosh bigger so I could comfortably fit a 19 in the spare mag in there. I feel like it's not quite big enough to do that. You like my custom painted mags? Ooh.
Is there a particular reason those are staggered a little bit? Is that a thing that I don't know about?
Yeah, so when they're in the receiver, I guess let me imagine it for you. So this, because it's backwards in the camera, would be your ping pong paddle side. So that way when this one's in there, this one doesn't block your ejection port. If that makes sense. So you can visualize it. You want the right one of the two lower, so it doesn't block your ejection port when the left one is inserted in the mag well. If that makes sense.
See, I had an idea. My clip-a-zine. You just clip the magazine right onto your belt or in your pocket. And I'm thinking about a redesign. I'm trying to make it, maybe my clip will somehow lock together, like twist lock together maybe. And then you could do the flippable. You know what I'm trying to say? Or even if they are together, I feel like that would be enough distance that you could have another magazine side by side. But I've never tried it, so I guess it would have to somehow be staggered, right? Or you can't hit the mag release.
Yeah. Sorry, I was out of commission for just a second because I had a young man wrapped in a bath towel spring in on me. And I apologize for showing the mags. I didn't even think about risking your stuff.
No, I don't
I didn't think about
shit. You're not a real
I didn't think about what I was.
Haven't got a strike yet.
Well, we were talking about stuff, and my mind went to show and tell, and I wasn't even thinking about what I was doing. as I was holding it up, explaining why, it clicked in my brain what I was doing.
I don't think I'm big enough to matter.
Justin B said they're 29 rounders. You're good.
They're 28 rounders actually, depending on how you feel. Do it.
Slideshow Bob, I thought we were homies. I'm gonna tell Fiend Dog to whoop you. Take you out behind the
How much does
woodshed.
that Vertex bag normally go to?
You're making my
Go
brain hurt
for.
thinking about it. It's been just long enough. They're not terribly expensive. Hang on. It's the Vertex Long Walks Waist Pack. Which didn't immediately come up on Amazon. Right now, you can get it on Amazon for $54.99 Prime 2-day.
I mean, it's the exact same price as this Helicon text.
There are so many of them out there, and they all have their pros and cons. And there are several that I found that would be optimal if I weren't wrong-handed. Same with the sling packs. Like there's 2 or 3 of the like sling bags that are bigger than a fanny pack, but smaller than like an urban backpack that would be ideal.
You were saying you wanted a buckle on both sides?
Well, I just want to, I mean, not necessarily on both sides, but I want it, would prefer it be on the side rather than the one that I have just has a buckle, and it's not a regular Fastex buckle. It's like their own. And it's made to go somewhere in the back. Like you can't adjust it all the way to one way or the other. I mean, maybe if you were like a 26 waist or something, like if I were a skinny woman and actually wore it up on my natural hips, I could probably draw it to one side or the other. But with one side all the way out and the other side taken in as much as I can, I only get it to about the 6 o'clock. Well, okay, hang on. Invert that. I like the 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock position. Yeah, so they make the rat waist pack, the Numbat waist pack, and they've got that urban something or another. They do a bunch of them. I didn't want anything that was like overtly tactical.
Yeah, this one's got the buckle on the right side.
Mm-hmm. And that'd probably be okay.
I mean, I would want it to be on my offhand side. Like if you're holding your pistol in one hand, and for some reason or another you got to take that off. Would you rather it be on your pistol side or your offhand side? I feel like this should be on your offhand side. If you do this in just a gray, that doesn't look tactical at all to me. Depends on where you're walking around too, because my area is pretty rural. I mean, if you regularly see people walking around with camo on, like full hunting camo, I don't think you would stick out at all with any of these colors on this.
Well, you buy something different, review it, see what you think. We'll collectively come up with the right answer. And then if we're not crazy about it, we can do giveaways or
This was
tag
my
swap it or something.
EDC for a long time. It's got a lot of room. but it's totally tactical.
That's the Maxpedition.
This is some Chinesium stuff here. I don't think it even has a brand name on it.
And it's got like the thigh strap, so you can let it out to your side and like attach to your thigh
It
or your
may
belt.
have at one point, but it doesn't. Oh, you just taught me something. I didn't even know that was in there.
Okay, yeah. So that's either like a thigh strap or a waist belt, so you can like tie it onto your strong side. Maxpedition does a couple different sizes that are that same pattern.
Huh. But it has a
So
panel on the back.
Mm-hmm.
It has this little thing. I'm assuming you're supposed to be able to clip a holster onto, but I don't have a gun small enough. If you clip a holster on there, it still pops right out the top. So I don't know. Is that the holster? Like, are you meant to put the muzzle of a gun down in there?
Maybe, I'm not sure. It's too dark
But,
off your computer screen. I can't completely tell.
but if you
Maybe.
clip any kind of holster on there, it's way too high. I'll be damned. You
So
showed
the
me
one that
something. All you had to do was say the word strap, and I was like, hey, wait a minute. There's a thing on the side.
And something like that, if it omitted the molly on the outside, would be okay, except for the way that they set that curvature up. It's made for right-handed people, and nobody makes a mirrored
I understand
layout of that. I've even seen some like motorcycle like thigh bags that don't look bad, like that are basically that, but it like mounts to your belt and your thigh, like a drop leg panel for motorcycle riders that are made out of like leather and stuff, so they don't look tactical. They look motorcycle dominatrix looking.
I mean, whatever style this is, it feels the same on the right and the left. Oh no, I'm too fat.
Wrap it around. Let the main part out a little more and wrap it around your thigh. See how that feels.
No, never mind. I was lying.
That way you can run that like a modern Minuteman bag, like your modern bullet.
That makes it hard to get into the back panel where your pistol is. You can't just. What is this crap that popped up?
Justin B, put your right hand in your 6 o'clock belt loop and walk around all day. You're fine until you scratch your ass.
I don't know if somebody was making a joke, but they said something about left-handed people being like descendants of the Nephilim in the Bible or some weird shit like that.
I'll take it. I'm not Catholic.
Yeah, the other night Corey was saying about he doesn't know why people hate redheads. Well, supposedly the Nephilim were all redheads, so that's probably why everyone has a genetic hatred for redheaded people.
I think they're just easy pickings.
Yeah, you're not part of the.
Evidently,
you're a minority.
I saw a thing that showed that redheads were like dying out because I guess that's
well, it's a recessive gene, and eventually the recessive genes you would think would be worked out.
Yeah.
Like recessive. Eventually, everyone's going to have brown eyes.
Yeah. Well, I remember in high school, I had a science teacher that was a coach that they had hired from somewhere else, like Moorhick, Arkansas. Like he had stepped up to teach in my town, and he did a presentation from the cover of like some science journal or Time magazine or something, talking about the browning of America. You know, that eventually we were all going to be one uniform shade of, roasted chicken color, rotisserie
Yeah,
chicken color.
like the movie Time Machine. He goes millions and millions of years into the future, and everyone looks the same. Eventually, that's going to happen.
Yeah, to some degree. But it also doesn't mean that we have to lose our heritage in the next two generations. It's not the skin color, it's all the rest of it. It's the heritage, the tradition, the values. Grit and Grace is laughing at my rotisserie chicken color. That's what I had to describe it. We're all going to look Mesoamerican, was what he was insinuating. And this was circa 2008, 2007. Oh, what are we showing off? Ooh, a blue handle tinker. No, it's got the corkscrew, so it's not the tinker. That is just the regular.
It says
What are they called?
the stuff is gone, but it's Katun. It has the Swiss logo on the side.
On the main blade, does it say Wenger or Victorinox? It looked like a Victorinox from here, but I can't tell for sure.
It says Officier, Officier, Suisse. Victorinox, yeah, on the other side, Switzerland.
Yep. So they're the one that both were real Swiss Army knives, like the originals or whatever. Like one, they both argue to be the original, but they're both genuine government procurement brands. And then Victorinox bought out Wenger back 8 or 10 years ago.
I got this bag of knives I took from when my dad passed away.
Hey, something cool I bet you don't know. Open up flip out your corkscrew and your Phillips if you have it on that one, and look inside the leading edge of the plastic grips. There's a spot for you to put a little needle, like a sewing needle.
I don't see a Phillips. What's this thing?
Okay, flip up your corkscrew then. It'll be under it'll be on the inside edge of your corkscrew on the handle. Also, don't ever get gun scrubber on those grips. It'll melt them. Like you'll feel it boil in your hand.
Yeah, I didn't see the needle. There's a plastic.
There won't be a needle in it. Yeah, but like, hold the knife up again and I'll show you what I'm talking about.
I didn't see this in there until just now.
All right, so it should be on the side of the hinge, like next to that in the plastic, there'll be just a void, like a tiny little void. That's where you can stick in the optional needle, like between the metal scale and the grip panel.
No dice, not on this one.
Huh. Maybe old enough it doesn't have it. I don't know. Of course, I don't have one with a corkscrew, but I know on the ones that have the. Let me get mine.
See this one? Wonder if this is old enough to be a good one. The Buck 119.
Probably.
Is that old? This one old enough? It's one of the good ones.
I mean, as good as they ever were. They make me show and tell too. So I have a buck knife that my grandfather gave me as a graduation gift because he had one that he kept in his vehicle that he'd always put on when we go hiking. He never felt compelled to strap a gun on because all the trails we hiked were pretty well explored. You know, they were out in the woods, but commonly trafficked. All right, so on this one, let's see, my little stand broke. And not dox myself. So you flip the, I need more light. I'm getting worse light. All right, hang on. Be right back. My little phone stand, I knocked it off the counter in the dark the other night and snapped it off at the pedestal. I glued it back on with some of that. Not super glue, but the, I can't think what it's called. The really good stuff that like burns your eyes. The vapors do. The E6000. But I haven't tried using it because I know it's going to break again and it's going to make me upset. So I just hadn't used it till now, but we'll try. We'll try.
I just realized the gun or the knife I was going to show you guys. I can't show you. It's got my freaking name on it.
Okay. So if you can imagine this, I have to remember the camera's backwards. So you flip the tool up, right? So right
Yeah, I see
in.
that little teeny hole. Mine doesn't have that.
Yeah. Okay. They don't all.
It's just too old.
Yeah. Did you know also before, I forget what year, before like 98 or 99, they used to sharpen the can opener. Like it had a sharp edge. So I went back and just one of those pull through sharpeners. I just sharpened the shit out of mine. And now like you can cut with it. But anyways, show and tell. This is my grandfather's buck. He was pretty handy with a sewing machine. So it had the original just vertical belt mount, but he went back and stitched on where he could like scout carry it or smaller back carry it. And me being wrong-handed, he went back and added another one for me because when I got to be about 14 or 15, I'd beg to ask to wear the knife that we never needed for anything, but it was just that Boy Scout tradition of if you're in the woods, you got to have a knife on you. But it's the full tang blade with the brass pommel and hilt. It's a buck 692. But this one's his. I got it when he passed. And it's not super old, but it's got the rubberized handle material. And then I have mine in another pack. And you can tell the quality difference that 25 years makes. But anyways, that's the one I had to share. Continue showing off yours because you've got more and they're older. That's right, Crafty Kev. We will all be earth tone.
This is another one I got from my dad when he passed away. It's the only thing I can make out on is Germany on one side and like 631 maybe. I don't know what this. Anybody help me figure it out? This is probably the only other cool one in there.
Kind of pan and tilt it. Yeah. Bring it more to your right, just a hair. The blade was in the light good. Now it's dull. Other direction, I'm sorry. I thought it was your right. There we go. Now kind of roll it fore and aft. Is that real stag handle? It looks it.
It is. I think it's stag and leather stack.
That's cool. You can tell it's a carbon blade since it rusted a little. Nice. Got like a hilt screw.
Yeah.
Looks like an eyeball.
I got one more I want to show off before I stop this.
I'm going to send you a link to some really good stuff made by Flitz that will keep that from happening. I'm just going to send it to you in the back chat because it links to a no-no site. But that way you can get the product. Oh, hell, I've got a bottle of it. Why don't I just hold it up on camera? Technology. You hear that?
What is that noise? I just knocked the lock off of it.
Nice. See, you have all the cool guy stuff.
It's called the
I get to
Beast.
sell a lot of neat stuff. I'm talking about your helmet.
Oh. But look at this thing. Chonky boy.
For the people at home, I apologize. It's going to be backwards in the viewfinder, but
I need to get a better camera, one that auto does.
Gun and knife wax. And it sells for like $15 muffins roughly. But it's like a mix of beeswax, carnauba. It's safe for your wood, your metal, all that stuff. You just shake the bottle really well. And then it's been a minute since I've reapplied it. I need to go back and do it again. I have it on all my pistol slides and stuff. But you just get you a sacrificial cotton towel, or I guess you use paper towel. Use paper towel. It's not going to show the contrast so much. For like old t-shirt works best probably. But you just get a little bit of this stuff. It looks kind of like thick milk. Like that's enough to do this whole knife. And you just blot it all on there. I think this knife was oiled. I haven't done this one yet. Mine has got this stuff on it, so this is probably going to suck. But I think it'll pull oil and stuff off too. But you just blot it on there. Yeah, this one's got oil on it, so it's not taking like it should, but maybe the hilt will take. Nah. He was good about mending his tools. Anyways, that stuff, you put it on there and it'll kind of flash over, and then you just buff it off, the excess off. And they say it's good for 6 months in non-saltwater environments, and I think a month in saltwater environments. And then there's nothing toxic on it. You know, there's nothing chemical you can't pronounce. It's just a mix of food grade ingredients. So like if you're muffin top and your Mr. I processed 74 deer, I mean, it may not taste good, but it's not going to kill you to get it there. It's pulling a little bit of shit off of there. So that off the hilt.
If you have anything with a mirror finish, I don't suggest a paper towel. It's basically sandpaper.
Yeah. That's why I said a cotton like an old cotton t-shirt or gun patch or whatever is probably the best thing. But I've used Q-tips before to get it on. There's one little imperfection. That's what's making that crud come off there. But anyway, stuff's good stuff. It's $15. I've been using the same bottle on 3 pistol slides and 3 or 4 knives for about 2 years now. And I haven't put a dent in that bottle, so it lasts forever. Worth the $15 in the afternoon to go through everything. What up, Fiend Dog? We need you to take old Slideshow out back and revoke his Kipper Gang card. He's threatening to report us. Pat, have you seen those videos of the dude that makes the hybrid Swiss Army knives with like the Kershaw blades on them?
I've seen a couple like Facebook posts or groups that are dedicated to people that modify them. They'll bust them
That's some
down
cool stuff.
and make their own tools, or take tools off of one and put them on another.
Yep. Get the pocket lint fuzz out of there. Yeah, I can't remember the dude's name. There's a dude that does like custom orders. I think they start at like 200, 250 maybe.
Yeah, some people want too much money for knives. Like, I feel like $100 is encroaching on what a knife is not worth.
I mean, I get it from a practical purpose, but I'd rather have like a nice custom knife than have a
mass-produced knife, I'm gonna say $100 is about as high as it should go. If you're talking about custom handmade, then I mean the price is whatever they're willing to sell it for, and whatever you're willing to pay. But a mass-produced knife, like made on machines and stuff, I don't think anything should be more than $100. Those freaking Benchmade knives for $500-$600, you got to be kidding me. If you're a Benchmade simp, like, okay, I'm not faulting you for spending your own money, but I guarantee you I'll never own a Benchmade knife for that price.
At this point, I wouldn't own a Benchmade out of principle. They volunteered their time, labor, and material to help destroy court-ordered guns.
If I wasn't going to do a try and do a Kipper Snack challenge coin, what kind of like inspiration should I take? Like, who's the brand? Polar is what I'm seeing a lot. King Oscar. What were you guys talking about the other night?
Beach Cliff's the Dollar Tree ones. They're honestly what I eat the most of because they're cheaper. But I think from taste, the best one I've had so far has been the Polar. I like them.
Well,
They're German.
they're not very attractive cans.
You don't think so?
That's kind of neat. Season. And the King Oscar, that's kind of a neat.
I haven't ever seen what the can looks like because mine at the grocery store, the King Oscars come wrapped up.
What the shit? Whoops. Make that go away. Nobody saw that.
Looks like a nut.
Let
I
me
didn't
stop
because I
sharing
was
that
looking
real
away from
quick.
the screen.
I just gave
You
everybody
shared
my
no
email
no.
address, my real name.
Uh-oh.
That'd be funny if I start getting weird emails. How do I do this? Let's do that for a while until I figure this out. Why is this different? Something different.
It just pulls all that oxidation and stuff off. It's a good protective layer on everything. I guess it's okay for the scales too.
There we go. Let's sign in under the wrong thing. Yeah, I think I need to soak the one I just showed you in oil. I can't get those things out without a pick.
Oh, like the hinges are all crusty?
Yeah. There's
I
some
don't know. I'd be careful with the material that the grips are made out of. I don't know if I would.
there's some of the
You might.
AI stuff I was playing with. Trying to make a Kipper snack gang.
Whoa.
Why can't I see all these? See it Kipper snap Thippa gotcha gang. See
Yeah, it has trouble with the.
when you put in words for it to put in, that should be one of the easiest things in the world.
Yeah, but it's taking out a text and turning it into a picture, I think, is where it has trouble.
And the one that looks like it would actually work and it's the words are correct, it gave it to me at an angle, so I can't use it. Skipper gag.
Maybe it's all those people that said kippers were yucky that made it say gag instead of gang.
Kipper gang challenge Kong. That's pretty close.
I've got a Wilson Combat belt that was given to me by a customer, and I'd already had to add a hole or two once. But the other day, before the service, I was like, man, I need to take my pants up. And I couldn't anymore, so I had to go to the bathroom stall and use the all to ream out another hole. Sitting there like, both sides working a new belt hole for the latch to go through. Of course, I put like leather dust everywhere on the toilet, so I had to like get some TP and like swoosh it all in. Looked like somebody packed a lip of dry tobacco leaves or something in the bathroom. I tidied up after myself and felt better. Got my pants to stay on my hips. Mix a slippery shirt and slippery slacks. And not enough caboose.
So close.
Cha-ching.
Hopefully they make one of
Yeah.
these days that you can put a bunch of different pictures in to give it like an idea of what you want it to do.
Yeah, like I was even trying to give it like specific brands so that it could like scroll the internet for a picture, and it just couldn't get it right. Like it doesn't get the shape of the can or anything right.
Big Chunga just says protect your nuts. I'm just about out of my free trial, so I don't have a lot more tries to get it right.
This is what I want it to do. Is
There
this
you go.
10? Like I think that 10 is good looking. Whereas this wrapper is acceptable. But after you pull the wrapper off of it, the 10 is just plain silver. But it can't get either of those 10 shapes right.
What are they like inside? Like filleted sardines, kind of. Like, are there bones? There's bones, right?
No, there's no bones. It's just the fillets.
Oh,
Are you going to mainly open one up to prove it?
no, don't open one unless you plan on eating it. I think you just ate though.
I mean, I'm hungry. I can eat it. We'll put it up to the chat. All right, which one, Justin B? Justin B says he's going to open one up and put it on Discord. He's hashtag Kipper Gang. So you've already used up your 20 hours of free trial for the month?
No, it's the Microsoft Designer AI.
Oh,
You only get so many credits to start to go, and I'm running pretty low. And there's a couple other ones that I'd have to use, like Sculpt OK. That makes a depth map.
I'm going to wash the Karen Noob off my fingers. It's making where my skin won't work my screen.
I don't know what the
Crashing
password
Kev's
is.
right. They're just naturally smoked kipper herring fillets. These are naturally smoked. These are smoke flavor added and whatnot. And they taste pretty similar. This one's done by Bumblebee out of San Diego, California. The polar ones are German, and they're like produced in Germany from wild-caught herring in the northeast of Canada. For you, Pat, I'll do the fancy pants ones.
How long do they last? Like unopened?
A long time. A long time. I haven't bought any of these in like 3 or 4 months. They're dated out to 12 of 27. These, the oldest I have, are good till 8 of 27. The ones I bought last week are dated August of 27. So yeah, I guess they're all 8 of 27, the ones I've been getting from the Dollar Tree. So they've got a pretty good shelf life on them. Oh, I dinged the corner. I had to be okay. I'll eat it this week. All right. Bottoms up. So they are kind of messy with that peel top lid. But that's what they look like. Somebody figures out a way to peel the lids off without making a big splash. Share that because I haven't figured that out yet. Ta-ding. I'm just going to get a paper plate so I don't make a mess. And it'll provide camera contrast. There's your fillets. I usually drain that juice off, but it's good fish. Kind of more umami, like a canned salmon with all your delicious omega-6s and whatnot.
Taste test live. Had it 100 times.
You have? I just like them
Is that
kind of
the
room
skin?
temp. I heated them one. Yeah, a little bit. It's not bad. No bones about it. Nobody will like you in the house for the smell that it puts off. but it doesn't taste gross.
My mom used to chase me out of the house. She would make salmon cakes about once a month.
Oh, I love it. I missed that as a kid. That's all she wrote.
Justin B says, "Aw shucks, now you got to eat it." Laugh my ass off. What a shame.
Now the question is the brine oily enough to use as a candle? Or is it too watery? Because I have wondered that. And live on your channel is probably a great time to find out.
This is the first I've
I
seen
would
this name.
say it's not. Yeah,
The best way not to
he's
make
in
a
Matt's
mess with
channel all
those
the time.
lids is to throw that shit in the trash and get some real food.
Aw. Well, doesn't look like it's going to willingly light, so I would say it's mostly water in that brine, which I figured it was because you can kind of tell the fat separation. But now we know.
Now, if you let that sit for a while and the water evaporate, you might get what you want.
Maybe so. I don't have that kind of time. I need to take the trash out too. And now I have to because it smells like fish. So I provided that motivation. I've been playing with Grok trying to get it to make that polar can, that color palette, but it can't get that oblong, skinny tin. It wants to do like a can of corn or a can of green beans or something, and just write Kipper snacks on it. Huh. You zigzag how you stack them. They sit flatter.
That packs
Same for
down pretty
these.
good. Nice and flat.
Mm-hmm. Now these are the Vienna sausages we got to get Muffin Top to try. These are the Dollar Tree ones in a regular old, like, ribbed can. They're a product of Denmark, and they're literally like little soft, like they're like European little smokies. But there's enough in this can to like satiate his homoerotic hunger. That's what we need Muffin Top to eat.
Justin B says you're supposed to be drinking the brine.
Well, I'm saving it for Justin B. If I wanted to drink that juice, I'd just wring out my boxers after working out. And he said, no shit. Smells like the ladies' locker room at the gym. Like you crack a can of that open, and they're like, one of us, one of us.
This is once I generate an image with whatever, you got to turn it into a depth map. It interprets the different colors as heights,
Right.
and put that into my laser software, and then it will. That's what interprets the different colors as different heights, and it slices it, and that's what makes those coins like 3D. Yeah, not a couple more images, and I'm gonna have to pay for all this. Oh, it's not gonna let me do anything. Poop. Oh no, what did I do? Maybe maybe I'll be able to start that up again. I was in the middle of trying to make a coin, and I shut it off because it was too damn loud. Boxer flavor? Do I EDC my nods now? No, but I ran around the house last night with them on. There's something going around the house. It's getting the dogs all worked up. We have 4 little dogs in the house, French bulldogs and pugs. And I have a husky outside, and once he starts going off, it starts the littles to bark all over the place, and you just can't ignore it. So I went around the house last night with my nods on. Just trying to see what it was. I got the shit scared out of me by a possum the other night. I started walking up through the leaves, and he heard me coming, and he made a big noise and just about jumped out of my damn skin. And I don't know if I want to hurt him, because they're supposed to be good for like eating up ticks and stuff like that around the house. But at the same time, he's ripping my trash everywhere. And if he gets anywhere near my husky, he'll take care of it himself.
Possums are good. Armadillos you don't want. They're invasive.
And also, he's digging under my shed, and I don't know if he can actually dig out enough to make it. Make it a problem for under my shed, because it's got a wooden floor, and if he digs out enough under it, I could have a collapse. This is the wax, I guess, that Lawfully shared earlier for waxing the knives. This is getting heavy.
It's good for those people that plan to leave a gun in their car. Those people that plan to just, they don't carry their gun on their person. They just always leave one in their vehicle. It's good for putting it on that sort of thing too, or anything you take out to a marine environment. Just gives a wax layer.
I wonder how well
Here's
that
your
would
card.
work
You think it?
if you were going to spider hole one of your guns. Like put it in a stash.
Yeah, I'd slather it all over one before I vacuum sealed it.
Or maybe it's not thin enough. Maybe oil would be better to get in all the nooks and the crannies.
It's pretty runny. Massage it all around in there. Then by the time you put it under a vacuum seal it, suck it all in all the places. You actually buff the excess back off of there.
I 3D printed a battery box for the back of that to have to be as a little bit of a counterweight. But all the freaking 18650 and the AA batteries, what are they called? The lithium AA batteries. They don't weigh anything, so it's completely useless. I mean, yeah, you've got storage for your batteries, but they don't act as a counterweight whatsoever.
Is there some other piece of kit you could put back there? Like that you got to have on you anyways? Do you keep a white light of some sort mounted on your helmet?
No, I have a red light, a red administrative light.
Yeah, some dudes will mount like a helmet mounted white light that they mount like facing up. So like if you're indoors, you can turn it on low and let it spill back off of the ceiling. Ow, my eyes. I had blue filter lenses, not red filter.
I guess red.
Hey, I'm epileptic here.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm not photoepileptic. But I love teasing people when they turn the strobe on a flashlight at work.
Do you think they've solved that problem? Do you think they like? I full well believe that they've cured cancer, and they just won't release it.
I don't know.
Because there's just too much.
I think that there's lots of studies. There's lots of studies that point to our sugar and carbohydrate consumption for the acceleration of cancer. You know, the like more of it and more severe, higher, greater severity of it.
I don't know if a lot of you guys are like me, where I get my information from a lot of different places. You know, I watch Tim Pool pretty much every night just because I have so much time, and it's a nice long something to listen to. And the joke with him is, you know, you got to drink every time he says the word Civil War. But he hasn't been saying it much lately, but I don't know, all the aggregate that I see from all the different sources, I kind of feel like we might be headed in that direction. Trump just did the State of the Union, not State of the Union address, and then that politician stood up and, you know, screaming at him until he got removed.
Mm-hmm.
We can't get the politicians to. We can't get like we tried to censure that guy, and the Democrats went into the well area where the podium is, I guess, that they're supposed to stand, and were just singing songs until they adjourned the meeting, and they didn't actually censure him. I guess technically in the books he is, but they didn't go through the glitz and the glamour of doing it on TV.
Yeah, we've got adults that throw temper tantrums in the highest offices.
And we threw 1,500 people in prison without trial for years for interrupting a, how did they put it? Interrupting a government procedure. You know, all the J6ers got put in jail, and a lot of it was interrupting a government procedure. Well, isn't that what they do
Well,
when they stand up and scream and
that
sing
one
songs?
cocksucker pulled the fire alarm.
Yeah, that guy that pulled the fire alarm and actually stopped the vote.
And didn't go to prison. Not even for 24 hours. If you did that, they'd all but hang you.
Here's one off Twitter. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries claims inflation is spiraling out of control under President Trump. Yeah, because 60 days, that's what it takes to make inflation spiral out of control. 60 days. I like how it changes with them. You know, if the economy's doing great and they're not in power, it's because the policies of the previous president are actually coming to fruition. That's why the economy's great.
Yeah.
But then
that's how it was.
If the economy's doing shit, then they're like, oh, look at what this president is doing right now. So which is it?
Yep. That's how it was his first administration. His first administration, all the good was that it was Obama. I mean, I believe that there's immediate market signals, and then there's stuff that takes time. And so I get it. Like there is an ebb and flow to who you give credit to for, good, bad, and indifferent. But he's not been in long. I mean, there's some speculation going on that drives the market, but it's not been long enough for there to be a trend to attribute to him, I don't know. I'm not educated enough to say it all.
It's 100% sentiment of the buyers. Like, do you feel confident that you're going to get more money tomorrow so that you spend your money today? If you're not confident that you're going to get more money tomorrow, you're not going to spend your money today. And I feel that's maybe an oversimplification of what the economy is, but in a nutshell, I kind of feel like that's what we're looking at. New York Post. This is another thing I'm not sure how I feel about, really. Federal judge orders deportation flights carrying alleged Venezuelan gangbangers to return to the U.S., blocks Trump from invoking Alien Enemies Act. And then the above that, it's like, oops, too late. I guess we already deported them. They're already off the plane. I don't know how I feel about this. Judges being able to stop what the president's doing. Like, at what point? Like, it seems like a check and a balance, but how can a district judge, you shop around and you just find the judge that agrees with you, and all of a sudden now you've stopped the president from doing what he believes should be done. It's one of those things. It's like, well, if he was doing something that was really shitty, I would want a judge to stop it. But if he's doing something that I agree with, I don't want a judge to stop it. So how do you fall on that?
I think for good and bad, it's just an unfortunate. Bean Dog's got something more intelligent. I don't know. Does it say that, Bean Dog? Like that clearly? I don't know. I think that both sides, for good and bad, shop around to bring like court cases up to try cases in favorable districts. And I think if a district court judge tries to throw out like an executive order or whatever, then the administration fights it and takes it higher, and eventually it goes to the Supremes. I know and that's the point. They're all trying to run down the clock. It's not to stop him; it's the sandbagging. If that makes sense.
I guess as long as the federal government is doing nothing, it's better than what they've been doing over the past few years. But one thing that gets me that can't be undone, like when Trump decided to freeze all the aid that was going out, and the USAID, billions of dollars in funding going out, he's freezing it. But then a judge says, no, you can't freeze it. You have to send it. Well, if I send it and then appeal and then I win, the money's gone. So at the very least, it has to stay frozen until the appeals process is complete and it's gone up to the Supreme Court. And then if the Supreme Court said, I feel like a district judge shouldn't be able to do this. They should have to go straight to the Supreme Court.
Hey, Dom.
Maybe that's wrong. Like one person shouldn't be able to stop the president from doing something. It should have to be a whole panel of the Supreme Court. Like and let it start at the district level and let it work up to the Supreme Court. But in the interim, you kind of have to let it play out.
I don't know. I'll fully own that I'm a midwit. What my title always is on this chat. I'm just probably better informed than the majority of citizens, even the majority of voting citizens. But I've never claimed to be a law professor or a constitutional scholar.
Well, the whole point is the government isn't supposed to be made up of professionals, lawyers, and everything. It's supposed to be of the people. And you just use common sense. So when something doesn't seem right, I don't care what the legality is. If something doesn't seem right, you have to have an opinion one way or the other, whether you're a lawyer or not. It should be a district court panel at least, not some circuit judge who's only been on the bench 2 years. From Canada.
I'd vote for you, Pat.
BBG agrees with something
I'd vote for you twice.
Only Congress can overturn a presidential executive order by legislation. I mean, that might be how it's supposed to work, but that's definitely not how it is functioning. And shopping around for judges, I don't think that should be legal. I think it should be in the district. Like, you have no choice. If the person resides, in DC, it should have to be the DC court every single time. Well, we'll probably lose anyway. But, when it comes to the federal government going after a person, I'm thinking of Matt Hoover specifically. He lives in Iowa, I believe. Well, they indicted him in Florida, so he had no choice but to travel to Florida. Like, at that point, you're not getting tried by a panel of your peers. My peers are Central Pennsylvania, not Florida, not Iowa, not Colorado. My peers are Central Pennsylvania. They shouldn't be able to indict me anywhere except right here with my peers. Agreed, no professionals in government.
About those
That's the way it was supposed to be. was supposed to be, it was supposed to be the
And they
common
intended,
like business owners or,
yeah, there you
somebody
go.
with a little bit of money that knows with a proven track record of knowing how to at least run a business.
And someone vested in their community.
Yeah. And being in DC for months and months at a time, 80% of the year, you have no accountability to your voters. Like
Nope,
it
you got
used
a
to be, you
second
had to go back
taxpayer
and live
funded home.
among them and live among the laws that you passed. But they seem to exempt themselves from everything.
Come on, get angry. We want to hear Pat Honda.
I don't get upset very quickly. It has to be a rolling. I always say I have a really long fuse. But the problem is it's connected to a giant keg of powder. Like it takes a lot to get me angry, but when I get angry, it gets bad. My wife gets angry, gets upset with me sometimes when I just, when I don't agree with what she says, or maybe I'll raise my voice just a little, and she's like, "Don't yell at me. Like you don't know yelling. If I yell at you, you'll probably turn into a puddle on the ground." She gets upset when I just tell her something different than what she's saying.
Same, bro. Like I'm so like say la vie that stuff that doesn't need to be in a battle. Like it's just kind of a decision has to be made, but it's not something that's gonna like matter an hour from now. I usually just leave that up to whatever she wants to do. What do you want for dinner? What are we gonna do today? That sort of stuff. But then when there is finally something that I put my foot down about, or whatever, we do get into an argument. Same thing. Like she thinks I'm yelling. It's like I'm not yelling. You just finally made me like get loud, or I'm just. It affects my communication at work a lot of times because I'm both in volume and like tone or pitch or whatever. I guess people don't hear me real well. Like the old people that are hard to hear and don't hear me. And you get overlapping conversations, and then I have to get loud, and it sounds like I'm being mean. I don't mean to be. It just is how it comes off. Now, sometimes I do get frustrated. There used to be about 3 or 4 overlapping conversations. Somebody unnecessarily hooting and hollering. I think that flares up my. I don't know. I would say angst, but I don't know what to call it. Like I'm not actually diagnosed ADHD or autistic or anything, and I know that's all the rage now to claim.
I know what I feel the same way. Just feel overwhelmed. I usually exit that situation if I can. I guess if you're trying to sell a gun, you can't leave.
No. And to try and minimize that, like I will step down. Like if I'm taking a phone call and the room's loud, I try to move to a quieter corner or whatever. Like once we've started the paperwork process for the 4473, which actually is it's computerized and then we print it out. That way it's legible. You're kind of hemmed up in that corner, And them old guys with them booming voices and bad ears will try to carry on a conversation. So I try to I get them started on the paperwork and then I shut up. Like I don't continue the conversation. and then I try to not let them talk back at me while I'm doing my part of it. It's tough sometimes though, because you don't mean to be rude, but you just, I'm not going to cause you to mess up, and I don't want you to cause me to mess up. But it raises my blood pressure sometimes.
That is a thing of
That was
like
quite the
ADHD or the TISM or one of them. It's when you're hyper focused on something and someone's trying to talk to you. Like my wife will tell me things, and like the sounds entered my ears, but my brain was like, not important right now. And she'll tell me something else. It'll go in. My brain is like, I'm busy. And then eventually I'll get irritated, and I'll say something like, "What?" And she'll get mad.
Mm-hmm.
I teach at a military high school. I get paid to shout. I definitely have a dad voice. I can shut when the dogs are downstairs making a ruckus. If I go out there and use the dad voice, they're usually calm for a while at least.
That's awesome, Dom. I didn't know that. You provided insight that explains all the jiu-jitsu in Alaska. I thought you were just preparing to fight bears or something.
If someone had the calling and wanted to move to Alaska, what would you tell them? Like,
What calling?
I very, very nearly sold everything and went to Alaska like 3 years ago. Like down to the point where I was seeing how much it was going to cost to move up there, like moving van wise, and the laws going through Canada with my firearms and everything. I was very, very nearly.
You don't. You ship or ferry all that stuff.
Yeah,
you don't drive through Alaska with all the stuff you
better
got.
to actually ship them. That's exactly.
Look at that. We're solving relationship issues.
That's exactly what happens when you're talking to your guy and he's trying to do something. Like, I don't know if he's the same way, but it's like hyper focus. Like, I need to be doing this at the highest level possible. If some sounds come into my ears, my brain goes, don't need that right now. And if I hear a bear, I'd be like, okay, that's important.
Pat-Riot's TED Talk, Solving Relationships, one subject at a time.
What are you looking for when moving out here would be my first question. Like out of the rat race a little bit. I can't even tell you. It was probably because I was watching all those Alaska TV shows, like Alaskan bush people and, whatever, all those shows. And I just wanted to go up there in a different way of life. I guess what I want to do is, I have enough equity in my house at the moment. I could probably buy some property and have no bills. I guess
Palin still governor Alaska?
I can do that in West Virginia too, and not have the Alaska upcharge. The way I understand it is, I was actually in a group that was like moving to Alaska, tips and tricks and stuff like that. And one of their big things was, don't sell all your furniture and think you're going to buy new furniture when you get up there, because things are like 3-4 times what they normally cost to get up there. Like rural living, I do. I'm not far enough out where I am now. I have 3 acres. But when I was looking for a house, or when I look for property and stuff now, I'm looking for like a minimum of 10, as much as I can afford, really. I think I read somewhere, if you're going to survive off of cutting your own firewood off your own land. I want to say it was like 14 acres is what they recommend to be able to sustainably heat your home off of um, firewood. I know those shows are fake. Just like what actually got me into being a prepper was, embarrassingly enough, the freaking prepper show. What the heck was it called? The one that everyone makes fun of? American Preppers, is that right? No. My brain is failing me. But it's the embarrassing show that everybody watched and nobody wants to admit. I didn't
Doomsday
take
Preppers.
Doomsday Preppers, yeah. I didn't take to heart like all those people's things, and I could kind of tell from watching the show that the producers of that show were like forcing the people to like you got to pick a thing. Like, what are you preparing for?
Look
You
nutty.
have to pick a thing, and then everyone's like EMP, economic collapse, solar flare. So I kind of feel like they were forced into that, and the fact that one guy that just had spent a bunch of money got like a perfect score, and there was like some guy that had a group together, a bunker, and they'd all trained together, like a real prepper got a lower score than this guy that just spent a bunch of money. He like went and bought a bunker. He's hired somebody to fly his helicopter. If things go south, he has a helicopter at his house. He's hired someone to fly him to his bunker. They give him like this perfect score. And then somebody who's actually prepared and like actually living it got a lower score. Is Sarah Palin still governor? I don't know.
He said no.
He said he loves Alaska and plans to never leave. I'm not far enough out in the country. I wanted at least 10 acres. My wife fell in love with the kitchen at the place that we ended up buying because it was just redone. So we settled for this, and I just liked it because it had a big 2-car garage, which is now so full I can't use it anyway. So that and the tiny home living, I've watched a lot of those, and I think I can do that. I could live in a tiny home, but I would have to have a shop because I have so many tools and like certain hobbies that I don't want to give up. So I would have to do like a Connex box and turn it into a shop. I'm looking for like one of the 40-foot, the extra tall ones. And if I could afford it, I'd like to sandwich 2 of those bad boys together, put a little roof over it. Yeah, everyone's talking doomsday preppers. Palin isn't involved in the government. Doomsday preppers. Yeah, that was the guilty pleasure everyone had. No one wanted to admit that they watched it and liked it, but everybody watched it and liked it. The producers exploited those people and framed it, making everyone look like they're off their rocker. I believe that. That's kind of what I was saying.
Mm-hmm. Of course, that one dude decided to show off too much and shoot his own finger off.
Yeah, and the other guy had the other guy shoot the rifle right next to his head, and probably perforated his eardrum because he was staggering around and throwing up.
Yeah. I was already just into it when that show came out. Like, I already knew about Engineer 775 and Southern Prepper 1 before that show came out. And then I never saw the second season, I guess, when they made them like hosts or graders or whatever on the show.
AI watches the crap out of Doomsday Preppers.
I bet it does.
Yeah, Dom, if you're in Muffin's Discord, hit me up. I'll give you my phone number. We can like chat. Well, like I said, Alaska.
He's so there.
it's not like I was saying before, I can do what I want to do probably anywhere. Like I've been looking at West Virginia, land is relatively cheap. The problem is flat land is not cheap at all. So my original plan was to try and find some place that had a trailer on it, just like a trailer that already has the well and septic. And I don't care about the trailer. I just care about the well and the septic and the driveway stuff. You know what I mean? Like something that's already established to the point where if I wanted to, I could pull my camper up there and live out of it until I figured things out. And I found out places that have building codes. There's like a loophole that if you tear a trailer off of its frame and then build like your own little tiny home on top of that frame, it's still considered a remodel and not a full build. So you can kind of get away even if there are codes. But a lot of places in West Virginia have zero code whatsoever. They make some places will ask you to sign this piece of paper that you won't make a junkyard. So I guess a junkyard and a certain amount of dogs are like the only restrictions you have. They don't give a shit what you build on or any of that.
That's not bad.
But for just something about Alaska, and I think what really ultimately got me thinking about all of that is probably one of those Alaska shows. I can't remember which one it was, but it was a guy, he was a guide up there, and that's how he made his money. And something he said, it said, people ask me what I do for a living. And he says, I tell them, I don't know, I guess I live for a living. You know, he just does guide work until he has enough money, and then he does whatever the hell he pleases the rest of the time. And that hit me. That was just something that hit me. Because at the time I was a mechanic and I was working 80 miles away. It was 80 miles one way. And on a Saturday, I could do that trip in like 45 minutes. But any other time, like it was a minimum of 2 hours commute each way. And I did the math. And in 1 year, I was spending, I can't think of what it was. It was like months that I was spending on the road driving back and forth. I get home, like I would leave in the morning, everyone would be asleep. If I did any kind of overtime whatsoever, like if I didn't leave exactly at 4 o'clock, I was scheduled 6 to 4. If I didn't leave exactly at 4 o'clock, even if I did leave exactly at 4 o'clock, that was like 6:30, 7 o'clock before I could get home. I mean, what do you've got like 2 or 3 hours maybe with your loved ones? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. No property tax. Buildings. I was a carpenter for like 4 years when I graduated high school. So I'm not worried about knowing how to build anything or building something that will hold up to like the snow loads. Like I know how to build stuff. But that property tax, that's huge. Because here in the lower 48 or even in all 50 states, if you're paying property tax, you will never own your property. If you think you own it, don't pay your taxes for long enough. They'll show you who owns it because they'll take it. And the local governments are worse than the federal government. If I'm like 3 weeks late on my local tax, they'll send me this thing where they're gonna like try to auction off my home for the $600 that I owe them.
Damn. They're quick
Yeah,
to
they
move
don't
there.
mess around. And I can't tell you, their record keeping is so abysmal. I've paid them like months and months previous, and then they'll send me shit where they're like, "Oh, you didn't pay your taxes. You sure about that? You want me to send you the canceled check?" But this is huge. Unincorporated areas, no building codes or property tax. That's how you can live for a living. With all the skill sets that I've earned, I was a carpenter, I was a mechanic, and right now I drive heavy truck. I could probably be a carpenter all summer and then just hang out and homestead for the rest of the. I could probably work for 3-4 months and then live the rest of the year off of what I made.
It wouldn't let me post my next comment, but I said I like when the wheels of government turn slowly. It wouldn't let that post. I don't know what about that YouTube didn't like.
Yeah, there's certain words in here that you can ban, but I haven't done any censorship things in here. A lot of people I've made into moderators, so I don't know if somebody might have added something that might not get me in trouble, or there's probably just
I think there's some preset stuff on StreamYard because I've said some really like mundane stuff before that it won't post on Hans chat. It literally, the sentence was, "I like when the wheels of government turn slowly."
Yeah.
But that's not a call to action. That's not a threat. Like that's nothing. I don't know why that.
Well, I said on Prepared Citizens, I tried to say tourniquet check, twist them if you got them. That wouldn't go through.
Speaking of that, tourniquet check, right arm.
Killing me. I don't have it on my belt today. You sons of bitches. Who shot me in the arm? Shit.
The nice thing about the Slishmans is you can go wide and tight.
Oh, you're cheating. The Slishman is cheating.
Hang on then. Fuck. I'll go cat if you want to go cat. I'll go cat on the other arm. The Slishman's just cheaper.
Dom DDG says I can make a good living driving. I mean, I have a CDL, Class A. If I could work for like 3, 4, 5 months and then have the rest of the time off. You've already bled out. You're dead.
Nah, I didn't bleed out in 30 seconds. Besides, I said right arm. It's what's hard is trying to like put another one on with a numb ass hand. Oh, and I've got the Swishman on my right arm with my hand going numb, losing dexterity. Oh shit!
So you got shot in both arms. Mine's not high enough. I could go.
Yeah, I don't have enough dexterity. Like I can't get the thing out. I don't have it now, but like this hand's cold, and this one's getting there.
Post it in the Discord. Who else has got them?
Fuck. Can you see the color change? Look at them veins popping. Fuck. Somebody give me a hit. Yeah. That hand's turning blue. I proved it. I'm done. I'm not going to wait for it to get where I get angry from it. Is it? Oh,
I've heard from people that, when they tourniquet somebody on the field, they'll beg you to take the tourniquet off because the tourniquet hurts worse than the gunshot.
I don't want to find out. I know how the tourniquet feels. I mean, you can live, but it is aggravating. Ah, shit.
And it used to be, limb over life. They would tell people that, if you put a tourniquet on people, they're going to lose their limb, but at least it saved their life.
Right.
And I think we've proven that through the war on terror over the past 25 years,
Mm-hmm.
that is not the case. Can you see the difference in my arm? Not really. It's tingling.
It do tingle. It do be that way.
Okay, I'm a wussy. I give up. Oh.
I think they can be. To answer your question,
Oh.
Grace.
Oh. Oh, I should have left it on. Oh.
Yeah, you got to back them off slow. And I guess
I feel like my
technically there
arm's
should
gonna
always be
pop.
that preface of like you don't want to bust a blood clot loose or something. So like if I stroke out in the next like minute or two, y'all know what happened. But
Yeah, blood clots are scary.
my
Does
kid's
anybody
got
know
a field
when
trip
you
tomorrow. He's
reset
getting
a tourniquet, you
CPR
have to
certified.
stretch it? If you just wrap it
Do
back
what
up,
now?
then the windlass is already like turned and loose. So when you reset your tourniquet, you have to stretch them out. You put it
You
through.
talking about on the cat plate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it through. You're supposed to leave
Yeah,
like a 3-inch tab or something like that. And then there's
you want to
only
go
so
back and be
small it
sure
can
that
get.
that's
You do your best not to have the Velcro touch each other. But that's not always the case.
I even go ahead and fold that red tip over. And then you have the male on male Velcro.
And then this tab, a lot of people put it on here like this. If you're bloody and in a hurry, you're going to be.
Yeah, I don't
You're
bridge it
supposed to
over.
get
I go
that
ahead and
tab.
tuck it from behind.
You're supposed
Yeah, I
to
tuck mine.
put it on there sideways so that the tab sticks up that you can just grab.
Yeah. That time tab is not terribly important. If you've done everything else right, it doesn't even matter. Like having it out of the way is more important than never getting it bridged across there. That doesn't even matter. I know nobody can see what I'm doing because it's dark. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Oh, good job, everybody.
You're supposed to be able to pull it out, grab just the very top, and give it a little swap, and it's supposed to open up.
Yeah.
I see because of the Velcro, it wasn't quite. But definitely don't. I don't know if anybody saw that live stream that Dark was doing. He showed the video of that cop that ended up. Someone tried to rob two guys. The two guys wrestled him to the ground, and when the cops showed up, they were trying to tell him that this guy's got a gun, and the cop was like dancing around like he didn't know what to do. He's like just didn't know what to do whatsoever. And the guys end up trying to get up off of him, and he starts shooting because the guy reaches for the gun. He shoots one of the good guys in the arm.
Mm.
and then I think he puts a couple rounds into the bad guy, but then like the bad guy's at the front corner of this car, the cop walks around the other side of the car and then starts walking across the street, putting his back to the guy that he just shot. And from what I've been told, I'm no expert, but if you shoot someone and they fall down, it's because their blood pressure drops. Well, when they lay down on the ground, their blood pressure rises back up, and they wake up. So he put his back to the suspect, and then when he goes to try and tourniquet the guy that he shot accidentally, it's not together. Like he undoes it and completely, and then I think he gets it twisted when he threads it through the buckle on the one side. I think he gets it twisted, so when he wraps it around, the Velcro doesn't work. So then he like puts a quick little bow tie in it, and then starts cranking on the windlass. And luckily, the guy didn't have an injury that needed a tourniquet, because he would have bled out if it was needed.
Yeah, if you haven't subbed to Dr. Sam Slishman's channel, he's got all sorts of videos. Like the dude is a super science nerd. He makes all sorts of like dummies and then applies them different ways and shows like the values of pressure and stuff. Like he quantifies it all to show that it definitely does the job.
Yeah, I've been
The reason the Slishman,
it's much easier on kids to get the arterial inclusion, but it is possible with the adult.
You 100% can. Like I did just now going wide. You could go narrow and even tighter than I went and get it. Like if it were like a real deal, bet yours or somebody's life on it, you 100% can get it tight enough. The reason the Slishman won't ever be TCCC approved is because of the elastics in it. It's the same reason that the hotly contested rats tourniquet won't ever be approved. TCCC doesn't want any elastic components that can degrade.
That's a dream gun right there. Roses are red, violets are blue. I'd lay down suppressive fire for you. Figure eights.
They're heavy. Even that short version is heavy. Then you add that L-can on top of it, that MGO.
Yeah, that's another gripe I have is about optics. Some people just are not in the world of reality with their optics. Isn't that L-can like $3,000?
On the commercial market, I don't know if that one is. I don't think they actually sell that version, but the L-can Spectre DR is like 25 plus. It's just a 1 to 6. Like it's a 1 or 6. Like it's not a variable in between the two. You just got to throw a lever and it's 1X or 6X.
Man, X is boring. It's like the same shit over and over and over again. I need to start following some lefty. There's the problem. I was in the following tab and not the For You tab. They'll show me different things now.
Oh, Just a Beast called me out on the Discord. It's about. I'm not trying to make enemies today. I like everybody.
Yeah, if I say something that's
Oh,
wrong,
he's mad because he put the TQ on. He's swelling like a grape.
If
I
I
can't
say
tell.
anything
I
that
guess
you
that's
have not knowledge on, let me know and tell me I'm wrong.
You can take it off now, Justin, if you still got it on. I don't want you turning purple. Fuck you, strong language. It's not like I told you to put it on your pecker.
Applied tourniquet to patient is bleeding profusely from the head. Apply tourniquet to neck. Bleeding has stopped.
Yeah, I have a coworker that's his answer to everything. Wonder if the B stands for Bitcoin. Justin's secretly rich.
He owns 10 Bitcoin.
No, like his name's Justin, and then the B is for Bitcoin. Or he's Drew
I
Barrymore's brother. The B's for Barrymore. He's Justin
I was
Barrymore.
told by somebody Bitcoin was about $5 when I was told about Bitcoin, and I was not computer savvy enough to actually buy Bitcoin. Because at that
Same.
time, back in the day, like you had to have the wallet and the keys and all that stuff. Places like Coinbase and the other places weren't around. Like if
Yep.
you own Bitcoin and Coinbase, you actually don't own any Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an exchange that uses Bitcoin as their. What's the word I'm looking for? Like when the dollar was backed by gold, what you're buying is a just electronic token, I guess, backed by Bitcoin. If Coinbase goes out of business tomorrow and shuts down the website, whatever money you think you have is gone. Unless you own the keys and the wallet to Bitcoin, you don't own it.
Yeah, it's like all those people that watch Fox News that buy the like gold and silver. They don't actually ship you the goods. You like have the. Well, same difference. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like they keep it unless you cash out or whatever, but they're selling you like the its and bits.
Now, on first glance, I laugh at this, but the if you sit and think about it for a second, I don't agree with this. Putting bacon in the Quran.
Yeah, I don't either. We talked about that before, and everybody was ha-haing about it. I don't believe anything in there, but I don't think you ought to. Just out of mutual respect. I mean, why aggravate somebody? No reason for that. It's just like I can rationalize it when somebody burns the Bible. Like that didn't hurt me, but like why do that? You know?
Why tear the flag down and stomp on it or burn it?
No reason for it. Of course, nobody should be so easily upset that that causes them to do violence.
Here's another good one. showing how the rise of sea levels. Ten more years, climate change is going to end the world.
That just wasn't the right beach. You got to go to the lower lying beaches, Pat. It's not like the whole ocean is a giant level.
I can't believe like 6 people are hanging out with. What? How long did your live go?
Not quite 2 hours. You're pulling the numbers, baby.
This is 2
You're
hours
the
and 41
well-spoken.
minutes. We still got people paying attention. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
You're just some dude.
We got people coming in and out. Plus, you're saving this for posterity's sake. Someday your grandkids are going to know like how level-headed and patriotic you were, and not because your name's Patriot 330. Everybody drink water. That was from a plastic bottle because fuck them sea turtles. No, I love sea turtles. I have no desire to eat turtle. Oh, you know we're gonna smash it. The like button. Smash it.
How's this? Is this too old for everyone? Starship Troopers?
Service equals citizenship.
Yep. I was on Team Dizzy all the time from the beginning.
Mm, I don't know. I like the cartoon better. I saw the cartoon
I've
first.
never seen the cartoon.
Dude, it was good. It was pretty good for a Saturday morning cartoon.
I actually feel a little weird now that I took the tourniquet off. Like my ears are burning.
You're a little flush.
Yeah. Of course, it's warm in my room too. I like things a lot cooler.
Well, I think I'm just a little sunburnt, but I'm a little flush too. Drink water, Pat.
I am thirsty. Like I drank a Monster not that long ago, and I've been out of drink for a while.
Well, put your camera on, turn your camera off, and go grab some water.
CGI bullcrap. Trying to find something that inspires a conversation. Anybody in the chat, if you got a topic, come up with something. I'm 45 years old. I've done a lot. I have some life experience. I've been married to the same woman for 25 years. Well, it'll be 25 years this year. Is that a scribe? I don't know what that was in reference to. Team Dizzy all the freaking way, Dom VDG. We're going to talk about moving to Alaska. You're going to be one of my first buddies when I move up there. Yeah, I've been married to the same woman for 25 years. I've known her since elementary school. She liked me way before I liked her, because girls were icky in elementary school. Too bad they haven't fixed no tax on the OT yet. Yeah, no taxes on tips and no taxes on overtime would be nice, but a lot of people that are on commission or make by the mile, you're not going to get any benefit to that. So the harder you work, the harder, they need to put some sort of provision in that for people like that. Did I remove lawfully by accident, or did he jump out? I feel like I wasn't touching anything when he left. Probably got life stuff to do. He's been talking to us for like 10 hours. Okay, not 10. Out spreading cooties.
Oh, you already put me back on stage. I stuck my phone in the freezer for a second, trying to get my phone to cool down so it'll start charging, and I think the freezer was enough to break connection.
Nice.
I'm going to start working on dinner here shortly, but still, I can be.
This is funny. Let's put this up. Oh, I love babies. Like, what do I got to do to find something? He's gone again. Here's something for you guys while I go get a drink. Let me know what happens when I make this full screen. Does it show full screen for you guys, or what does it do? Don VDG, 20 years with my wife this year. That's an accomplishment. Freeze drying. Last thing I freeze dried was the stuff I made videos on. I have enough chicken eggs from my own. The chicken eggs that I've been freeze drying previously, they've all been store-bought eggs, but I have enough of my own chicken's eggs to do a batch. So I'm probably going to do that this next weekend. Picture still up. "27 with the wife." It's an accomplishment these days. My wife is weird. She still likes being around me. 10 years, just not official. I mean, marriage is just a piece of paper. If you made a commitment to each other, I see it as the same thing. I'm not a super religious guy, so it's, not before the eyes of God or anything like that. Homework right now, schoolwork sucks. Fiend dog, how old are you? Are you in college or something? Justin B, no split screen. Yeah, I try to put it on full to make it as big as I can for you guys. I don't know how to, because I'm using two different windows on the same screen.
Sounds like your age.
No split screen, but visible, 3/4 screen. Quarter century. Dated wife on and off for 15 years, married 5. Academy Sports in Harrisburg, I have not. There's a Bass Pro Shop I keep, a huge Bass Pro Shop up there I keep passing that I want to go to. If you're ever down my way towards Gettysburg, I got a few local haunts, and they're I just love these gun shops. One is it's called Hilltop Arms. It's in Waynesboro on North Grant Street. They're awesome. They specialize in concealed carry. They have probably the largest holster selection you're going to find in store that's not some huge box store. And even then, I think they would rival it. What they don't have a lot of is like the specific Kydex holsters. And that's kind of the minimum for me. I want hard plastic covering my trigger. That's usually one of my first stops. I have the Hunter's Den, which is also in Waynesboro, well, Rouserville maybe. They're like the Fudge shop more or less, but they do have some AR stuff and they do suppressors also. And then I make my way over. It's Gettysburg Armory, I want to say, out on 30. They're a really good small shop, but he has the best ammo selection I've seen anywhere, including Walmart or any of the big box stores. And then we have the Gettysburg Trading Post on 30. That's one of my last stops. There's a smaller guy that's out 30 farther. Guns for You. He's an Italian guy. I don't buy a whole lot from him, but I have sold some stuff through him, and he will talk your head off. And sometimes that's what I want. That's what I'm looking for. Just talk to some people.
Earn your business with that conversation.
Huh?
They earn your business by making conversation.
Yeah. Up towards Harrisburg, past Harrisburg. I want to say it's either Charlottesburg or Lionheartsville. I think you might have mentioned it in a previous chat before. There's a by the Cabela's up there is a surplus stop. I try and go there whenever I can. That's another badass store. I bought a couple of pouches from him. He had a good price on MREs there when MREs were going for like 40 bucks a piece or during COVID. He had a good price per case on those. And another place, it's up north of Harrisburg on 22. I cannot think of the name of it, but he has a bunch of surplus and cool guns. And I bought a bunch of steel targets from him. So if you know where to look. 43, you're only a couple years younger than me. Okay. Just doing is it with the kids? Doing homework with the kids? Or are you taking college courses? Dom VDG, 22 years together this March. Support your local dealers. 100%. Gary's Bow Shack. Never heard of them. The way you're talking, I guess they've gone out of business. Trouble is, I think some of those people, as they get older, if the kids weren't involved, priority one surplus. That's it. In Hamburg, okay. Well, it's up that way. I think it's before you get to Charlottesburg and Lionheartsville. Union apprenticeship. Okay. Yeah, I remember doing that. When I became, I was a union carpenter straight out of high school. I was a laborer for the company for a while, and then I got entered the union. And the first part of our apprenticeship, obviously, as a carpenter, is math. We had this guy in there. I wanted to call him a kid, but he was a guy. He was older than I was. You know, the first night was just like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. And it was supposed to be like an hour maybe of just like going over it or re-going over it just for um, refresher's sake. Like, who needs a refresher on that stuff? It took us 2 whole nights of school to get this one dude through addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Like, this guy had, I keep trying to call him a kid. This guy had no freaking clue. Like, I guess he learned the tape measure just by going, well, I guess he knew numbers. Like, there's a 2-5, and let me just walk over here and mark 2-5. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that requires higher forms of math. There's a little bit of geometry and what's the other one? You know, you think of it as a dumb profession. Algebra. Yeah, there's algebra and geometry, a lot of that in carpentry. And a lot of people
My grandfather was
a dumb thing, but
my grandfather dropped out of school in like the 5th or 6th grade to take care of his family, his mother and sisters and stuff. And he was a electrician for 50 plus years. I mean, he knew enough to do the job adequately, owned his own business for a period of time.
yeah, I mean, you can learn specifics of what actually needs done. But I mean, I guess if you're just hanging drywall, all you got to do is match up the numbers on the tape measure or call them out to your partner. But if you need to figure you need to, like, the board feet of a wall, there's volume of the concrete that you need if you're forming up concrete and stuff like that. Um, there's a lot when you go into the layout of a building, and even if you're building something in the middle of a field, just simply squaring up like a concrete form. You can't just throw a 2-foot square on the corner and call it good if the thing's 20 feet long. I like to joke in high school, like I'm very smart, but I'm also kind of lazy. So I did my last year in high school in algebra. Uh, I say I missed a lot of school, partially because I was smart and lazy. But algebra consistently builds on itself. So if you miss one day, if you don't get caught up, you're lost for the rest of the thing. I failed algebra miserably. Like I didn't do, I just didn't do the homework and stuff. I feel
Me
bad
too.
for the girl that sat behind me because you'd pass your paperwork back and everyone would grade each other's papers first thing. Well, that girl just had to sit there because I never did homework. So the only 2 classes I ever failed in high school was algebra and Spanish. And I only failed Spanish because I was pissed because I wanted French because that's where all the girls were. And then if I couldn't get French, I wanted keyboard typing class because I knew computers were going to be a thing, and it'd sure be nice to type well. And they're like, this dumb redneck guy, we're going to put him in Spanish. And I became a carpenter right out of high school, and the 2 things I needed were algebra and Spanish. And on that note, I think my wife is home, and I didn't fix her dinner like I was supposed to. So I'm
Man,
gonna
we have so many things to come.
close it down. Let me go through these real quick. Gary passed away from COVID. That's unfortunate. Carpenters taught me math. Grit and Grace has a visitor and had to go. Gary's Bow Shack, the only dealer of a certain bow in the area. Lived in New Jersey 4 or 5 years, ought to be grad school. Used to go to shooting in PA with some guys, and the only place I remember even PA was King of Prussia. Yep, I go past that a lot. 3 and 4 foot, the angle between should be 5 foot. Yeah, it's called the 3, 4, 5 triangle. One leg of the triangle is 3 foot or 3 inches, doesn't matter. It could be 3 sticks. One side is 3 foot, the bottom side is 4 foot, and the line in between those 2 ends is 5 foot. And you can upscale that as much as you want, or downscale it as much as you want to make sure things are square. TNT at 8. Yep, busted. See y'all later. Peace.
Peace, everybody. Drink water. Drink water in stream. Did you end it?